Join the girls. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Hey, girl.
Hey,
What's going on?
girl.
Ah,
Oh my God. I am just, my heart is so heavy. What in the DMX
oh,
life after death is going on? Where are the heirs at? Oh my God.
who knows?
So let me tell you what's been going on. And whew. All right, so you know DMX had a street named after him in Yonkers, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
And at that ceremony, I caught a clip where DMX eldest son, Xavier, went up to the podium and
Hmm.
said something along the lines of, I can't believe you guys are closing out this ceremony without even acknowledging his original family.
Okay.
Now, original family meaning his mom, Tashera, himself, and his siblings, that
Oh,
DMX and
his ex-wife. That's what he's saying.
yes,
Okay.
DMX's ex-wife who was with him in the trenches. She held him down. There's no doubt about it. When you heard DMX, you heard Tashera.
Right.
She was with him through the good, the bad, the ugly, the drugs. Oh, she was with him. She held him down. She took care of the kids. She went through a lot, hell and back. Okay. We all know that. We cannot deny it. This is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I saw that I call him a baby, even though he's a man, but that's still somebody baby. That's DMX's baby. That's Tashera's son. I wanted to just jump through the screen. I just wanted to jump to the phone and just go stand next to him and just give him a big hug. And he accuses DMX's fiance, Desiree Lindstrom, I believe her name is. He accused Desiree of purposely excluding him, his mom, and his siblings from, the interaction and things like that. So there's a big, big beef behind it. But let me take it back to the Grio. I'm gonna read what the Grio wrote, and this is titled "There is no X without Tashera." DMX's ex-wife responds after son's remarks at street ceremony. So DMX's hometown tribute in Yonkers, New York, was meant to honor the late rapper's legacy. Instead, it also opened up a very public conversation about family, grief, and who gets to speak for a loved one after they're gone.
Hmm.
On Friday, June 12th, Yonkers officials renamed the corner of School Street and Brook Street Earl DMX Simmons Way,
Hmm.
honoring the rapper born near the neighborhood that helped shape him. The ceremony included city officials, Rough Riders co-founders D and Wadeen, members of DMX's family, and fans who gathered to celebrate one of hip-hop's most recognizable voices. But according to All Hip Hop, the mood shifted when Xavier Simmons, DMX's eldest son, with his ex-wife Tashera Simmons, took the microphone near the end of the ceremony.
Hmm.
And Xavier said on video, "There is absolutely no way that you will close this ceremony and we will not hear from his original entire family." Xavier then reportedly invited his mother and siblings to join him on stage and credited Tashera with helping make the street naming happen. He also directly addressed DMX's former fiancée, Desiree Lindstrom, who shares son Exodus with the late rapper and is reportedly a co-administrator of DMX's estate alongside DMX's daughter, Sasha. "Desiree Lindstrom, you have behaved dishonorably," Xavier said before accusing her of excluding DMX's children and Tashera from key moments tied to the rapper's legacy. The outlet reported that Xavier's microphone was cut shortly after.
They sure did cut him off.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. I thought that was wow.
Cause he was nice and loud and bright, and you can hear him. All of a sudden, whoop! You couldn't hear him. Nothing. It was like muddling.
I know. And let's get back to that, but let me finish this, right?
Go ahead.
Because I want to touch on that cutting off the microphone part. Don't let me forget that.
Yeah.
So later, Tashera took to social media to address her son's comments and defend her family's place in DMX's history. Did my son expose these devils? They've been exposed. Now, mind you, she was laughing. Y'all know DMX. Y'all know Tashera. We built the DMX legacy together. There is no X without Tashera. The fact that they came to my hometown and did not want us to be recognized, I'm going to let y'all sit with that one. The comment came just months after the Grio reported on Tashera's reflection about her marriage to DMX, during which she discussed the role trauma played in their relationship and her desire to save Earl. Tashera and DMX were childhood friends who married in 1999 and later divorced. They share 4 children: Xavier, Tacoma, Sean, and Praise. DMX died in 2021, was 50 years old, and was also the father of several other children. For fans, the moment was painful to watch because it unfolded during an event meant to celebrate DMX's connection to Yonkers, the city he proudly carried with him throughout his career. Black Westchester reported that Yonkers Mayor Mike Spano, Councilwoman Tasha Diaz, and other city leaders attended the ceremony, where speakers reflected on DMX as an artist, father, friend, man of faith, and son of Yonkers. That is what makes the family dispute bigger than one viral clip. DMX's legacy belongs to hip hop, to Yonkers, and to the millions of fans who found someone real in his prayers, pain, and growl. But it also belongs to the people who knew him in a way the world never will. Amen. That's what I'm saying. Okay, let's get back to the microphone cutoff. And then we're going to touch on Tashera's comment. First of all, I'm going to tell him this baby. And I know this based on experience. The people in power that make things like this happen, people at the top, they don't care about your mother's struggles and what she endured. They don't care about his children. All they care about is who is in charge of the estate.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and I'm saying this because I think everybody should be considered and be respected, but a lot of times we all know no one cares about you until you are in position of power
Yeah.
or you can do something for them. And to not allow his children to be included, especially the eldest, I thought that was in poor taste. This is not the first time that I question stuff about what New York judicial system does, because how a fiance is able to be a administrator of someone's estate when this man has, I think I've read, up to 15 other children. I know she has a son by him who may be the youngest that we know of, but to allow a fiance to be part of the administration, I don't understand. I don't get it, but
But
stranger things have happened.
yeah, but you never know. You know, at that point of his time, I think he was really getting himself together. So he may have had something lined up. We don't know if he
He,
had court documents saying that she would be in charge if something happened.
from what I've read, there was nothing lined up. There was no will at all. No surprise, right? Love DMX, great performer. I feel like he had a lot to add to the masses, very influential, but he lived his life in chaos and he died in chaos because you left your family to sit here and fend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you left your family in this situation and there was nothing in place to say, I want my children to be overseeing my estate. I understand this fiance situation, but I don't. You got too many children. Okay, so let's go back to
Oh,
that part, right?
they may
Mhm.
not be about nothing. Who knows?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. That
Yeah.
a fiance having more rights than the children. There's other children besides these kids here. There's other children, right? All right, so let's break it back. Now, Tashera going online saying her son called out these devils and saying how there would be no ex without her. Tashera, you're the former wife. You're the ex-wife. We all know and love you. You would never ever not be in history, as you know, because of you did help DMX. You know what I'm saying? You were a part of that. But legally,
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't care.
They going by the law. She's the ex, so
The minute you divorced him, they don't care. They just want to know who's the wife, who's the children, or who was closest to them. And all those years that you did suffer and went through and helped them and all of that, I hate to say it, but the people that's in control in the court systems, all they care about facts and legalities. They don't care about the years you slaved and you went through the trauma and all the different baby mamas and the children he had. They don't care. They don't care.
no, they
They
don't.
don't care. I hate to say it, but they don't care. Now, I've been reading this document this court document, and apparently the administrators of the estate was shared by um, DMX kids. It was, let's see, I think it's Xavier, Sean, and Tacoma. So those are DMX and Tashera's oldest children.
Mm-hmm.
They were at one point sharing the administrator role with Sasha Simmons, their half sister, and Desiree Lindstrom, which is DMX's fiance, well, the fiance at the time when he passed. Let me explain to everybody because I don't think people understand what the role of an administrator is. Because I always say, and I'll say this again, anybody that's taken on this role, you need to educate yourself about the role you're playing and what your responsibilities are.
Yeah.
Because if you're clear on that and you're able to follow the rules of that, you should be fine. But do your due diligence, do your research. So let me give everybody a little bit of information because many people may not understand. An administrator of an estate is the person appointed by a probate court to manage and settle a deceased person's estate when there is no valid will or when the named executor cannot serve. Their job is similar to that of an executor. Typical responsibilities include locating and protecting assets, including bank accounts, real estate, vehicles, investments, personal property. Number two, identifying debts and obligations, including credit cards, mortgages, medical bills, and taxes. Number three, paying valid claims, using estate assets to pay creditors in the order required by state law. Number four, filing tax returns, including the deceased person's final income tax return and any required estate tax filings. Number five, accounting to the court and beneficiaries, including keeping records of money received and spent and reporting to heirs in the probate court. Number six, distributing remaining assets, following the state's intestacy laws, the laws that determine who inherits when there is no will. An administrator is considered a fiduciary, meaning they must act in the best interest of the estate and beneficiaries, not their own benefit.
Yeah.
They can be held personally liable if they misuse estate funds, fail to pay creditors properly, or engage in self-dealing. Now, let me repeat that again because I think people need to hear this again. An administrator must act in the best interest of the estate and beneficiaries, not for their own benefit. Take mental note of that. Okay.
You can't make yourself rich off his money.
It's not your personal
Yeah.
savings account, bank account. You're responsible for growing that person's legacy. You're responsible for maintaining it. You are obligated to make decisions that's going to benefit that estate. And you got to follow the laws. You have to when it comes to that. Okay. Let's see. So,
Let me just say this. The people that you named, do you think they are capable of that honor to do that? I don't think so.
Listen, whether they're capable or not, that's their birthright. You don't have to go it alone. There's people you can hire to assist you.
Listen, they should have pulled back. If they're not capable of understanding and doing that job to the best of their ability, they should have denied that.
Wait,
That's crazy.
but you're jumping ahead of the story.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So this is the thing. Now, according to research, when DMX died in 2021, he apparently left no valid will, which meant his estate had to go through interstate administration in New York probate court. And let me tell you, that's something you don't want to do because I don't even want to. Okay. After a dispute among family members over who should be in charge, the court appointed his three eldest sons, as it should have, Xavier Simmons, Sean Simmons, and Tacoma Simmons, as temporary co-administrators of the estate.
Okay, so just the three of them at first.
At first, they're responsible for collecting royalties and other income generated after DMX's death, and they're responsible for distributing the estate to the heirs according to New York law. Now, for a celebrity estate like DMX, the job is more complicated, than simply handling bank accounts and a house. So the administrators would also be responsible for valuable intellectual property, including music royalties, trademarks, licensing deals, merchandise rights, and posthumous release. Decisions about albums, documentaries, licensing songs for movies, and protecting the DMX brand all potentially affect the estate's value.
That's a lot.
It's a big, big responsibility, but it could be done. An interesting thing is that the administration of DMX's estate has remained contentious. Court records from 2025 to 22, I'm sorry, court records from 2024 through 2025 indicated that the original sons who had been acting as administrators were later suspended. And yep.
What?
And other family members became involved in estate management and litigation over intellectual property rights and estate assets.
Okay. Did they say why they were suspended?
Okay, we're going to get to that
Okay.
in 1 second. So when you read that someone is an administrator of DMX's estate, think of them as the court-authorized fiduciary responsible for running the business and legal affairs of everything DMX left behind until the estate is fully settled and distributed to his heirs.
That's a full-time job.
I think it also comes with payment.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
It's a full-time job and then some, trust me. Okay. I've been looking over a 160-page document.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's a petition filed. So what I've been reading is something that was filed in the courts, and it's the United States Patent and Trademark Office before the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board. So this is a document regarding the mark DMX.
Okay.
And it's the co-fiduciaries of the estate of Earl Simmons, professionally known as DMX, the co-fiduciaries comprising Desiree Lindstrom and Sasha Simmons, who are the petitioners, versus the estate of Earl Simmons and Tashera Simmons, registrants.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just sum this up from the part I got to. I got to like page 25, but this is going to kind of give us an idea of why this suspension, if they're quoting this in the news. It said, procedural history. Earl Simmons, known as DMX in the music and entertainment world, died interstate on April 6, 2021, survived by 14 children as his sole interstate distributes. Following the decedent's death, a petition and cross petitions for temporary letters of administration and for full letters of administrations were filed by each of Tashera's children, who were then the 3 adult children of the decedent's 4 children with his ex-wife Tashera Simmons. Tashera, who was also mother of decedent's daughter, Praise Simmons. Sasha, an adult child of the decedent, and Patricia Trejo, and Desiree, the decedent's fiancé at the time of his death, and the mother and court-appointed guardian of the property of the decedent's minor son, Exodus Simmons. Following a contested proceeding for the issuance of temporary letters of administration, this court entered an order and issued temporary letters of administration on October 22nd, 2021 to Tashera's children, the temporary letters. Following the issuance of temporary letters, the litigation concerning the ultimate appointment of permanent fiduciaries of the estate continued, with Sasha and Desiree each having filed cross petitions for their own appointment as the estate's administrator. Okay, so there's a little note at the bottom of this page, right? Page 2 of this document. The decedent's death certificate reflects of April 6, 2021. However, he was not removed from the ventilator until April 9, 2021. Paternity has been established by DNA test and or court order for the decedent's following 8 children. Each of the 5 co-administrators, or in Desiree's case, her child, Xavier, Sean, Tacoma, Sasha, and Exodus Simmons, Desiree's son, as well as Jada Odin, Caden Jackson, and Aiden Jackson. DNA test results have not yet been received by petitioners for the following 6 alleged children.
Oh God, this is getting messy.
Sonova Hillman Jr., Emmanuel Simmons, Praise Simmons, I don't want to botch this baby name up, but I think it's Zariah Simmons, Taraji Walton Simmons, and Javon Wayne Simmons. A DNA test revealed that Raven Barner Simmons is not the biological child of the decedent, and upon information and belief, the decedent was not aware of her existence prior to his death.
Oh my God, they just coming out the woodwork.
So that's where I originally saw the 15 children, but it technically, based on this documentation, they're saying 14. Exactly.
Still alive. Jesus.
Yes. All right. Now, since the issuance of the letters of administration, it has become clear to petitioners that during their tenure as temporary administrators, Tashera's children engaged in several acts and omissions that constituted breaches of their fiduciary duties and or acts of self-dealing that require their immediate suspension and ultimate removal as fiduciaries.
Oh, so the hands were in the pot.
Girl.
Mm-mm.
Most significantly, Tashera's children engaged in a scheme
What?
including a self-interested contract with Tashera, which had the effect of diverting valuable intellectual property rights and significant sums from the estate and its beneficiaries to Tashera.
What?
Wait a minute. And upon her death, to themselves and their sister as her sole presumptive distributes.
So they were going to name Tashera as the, other words, the key leader of this estate, and everybody else will be on the wayside.
No, not even a key leader. They were actually had a contract with her that was going to grant her intellectual property rights.
Oh my goodness.
So then this document proceeds to say, while feathering their own nest and the nest of their mother, Tashera's children failed during the full 2 years of their sole stewardship to undertake the crucial fiduciary duties of filing the descendants' past due income tax returns, filing the estate's fiduciary income tax returns, filing the decedent's final income tax return, filing either federal or New York State estate tax returns, marshaling royalties owing to the estate, taking steps to monetize the estate or retain a necessary and appropriate team of professionals, including entertainment counsel, intellectual property counsel, and or a manager or consultant, and attending to the negotiation of the myriad of creditors' claims and or the payment of significant tax debts. Moreover, since the issuance of the letters of administration, Tashera's children have continued in their malfeasance, including by failing to file necessary documents and applications in order to open an account in the name of all 5 co-administrators,
Oh my.
with the result that Tashera's children continue, in violation of the conditions of the issuance bond, to exercise sole and unfettered control over the estate's bank account, failing to provide necessary documents and authorizations to estate accountants in order to finalize and file the decedent's income tax returns, the estate fiduciary income tax returns, and the estate's estate tax returns, and to resolve deficiencies assessed by the taxing authorities violating the confidentiality provisions of the stipulation amongst the now co-administrators dated as of October 4th, 2022.
Well,
Resolving their dueling petitions and cross petitions for letters of administration. It's a mess. Oh, wait a minute. Also, by regularly consulting with and disclosing confidential estate matters to Tashera and her attorney, and acting to the exclusion of petitioners in connection with the administration of the estate, including by refusing to delay votes of the co-administrators as requested by petitioners' counsel in order to resolve disputed intellectual property issues and concerns as to conflicted transactions, and by failing and or refusing to onboard petitioners in any meaningful way, including by failing to provide copies of the estate records.
I mean, the first thing they should have done was went and open a checking account so that whatever funds flow in, it will be recorded under that one account, and whatever you're flowing out is under that one account, so you can have a record. But I don't understand. I mean, the judge gave them a chance, and they mucked it up.
Okay, let's go on with that. This is true. Tashera, number 2, Tashera's children have favored Tashera and themselves over the interest of the estate and the estate beneficiaries by entering into a conflicted and self-interested transaction.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to put into context, the most significant of Tashera's children's misdeeds, a comprehensive recitation of the background of the decedent in Tashera's divorce proceedings, as well as the creation and use of certain, I don't know if that's a of the decedent's intellectual properties right, is necessary. All right. So this is the deal. Based on here, the decedent in Tashera was married on August 9th, 1998 by summons and verified complaint dated January 8th, 2013. Tashera filed for divorce. The matrimony proceeding was ultimately resolved by so ordered stipulation dated June 28th, 2016, with regard to the decedent's intellectual property rights and matrimony stipulation. So based on what I read, Tashera was due, I think 15%. It said the wife shall receive by quadro 50% of the husband's intellectual property rights, which shall include but not be limited to royalties from Universal Music and ASCAP, publishing, mechanical, public performances, and synchronization from the date of the marriage until the date of the commencement of the action, January 8th, 2013. Okay,
You said 15% or 50%?
50,
Oh, 50.
50%.
Oh, okay.
So once again, I feel sorry for his children, his sons, because I don't know if they had anybody guiding them properly, but I know I love my mama too. And I know they saw the struggle that mommy went through. And yeah, she deserved everything that was awarded to her. But the main priority as the administrator of your dad's estate was to take care of his estate, protect it, do all the things you needed to do. And you could have resolved that, whatever he owed your mom, that could have happened. But you first got to get the estate in order.
Did she not get it? Because at that time he was still alive. They said from whatever they married into 2013, he didn't die until after that. So she didn't get her money prior to that.
Chances are she didn't. Who knows what was going on with him? Who knows? They've been, divorced since what, 2013, it said? So DMX was out there living his life. DMX had already, had more kids, had more relationships. The way he was moving, did he have a bank account? Who knows? She may not was able to recoup it. Now she can or she could, but most of these people, and I hate to say it, some of them have bank accounts, some of them have their business order, some of them don't. So if you don't know where to go to get it, how do you get it? You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Also, that's a big financial responsibility for her to obtain a legal team to try to track him down and all. It's a lot. But, I feel like based on what I read, and Lord knows I love the kids and I always want to fight for the kids. But mama, you could have gotten that. There's no way they would not have paid you, but your sons needed to put people in place,
Yeah.
professional people in place to help guide them so they could maintain permanent um administratorship or whatever over their dad's legacy. And that's something you could learn. You don't have to know it off the bat, but you got to get the key people in place
Yeah.
so that you can learn it and earn it and control your dad's legacy. And I understand their frustration. They were there first. They went through the trauma. Whoever DMX had later after them, because it happens like that. Sometimes the first family get the rough part of the person.
Yeah, that's true.
As a person mature and moves on in life, the children that come after the first set of kids may get a different experience with the father, maybe even better than the first set of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that, but you got to take your emotion. It's hard. You got to take your emotions out of it and you got to follow that law because now this woman, from what it's saying, they was able to remove the children from that position that they rightfully deserved, but you got to earn that.
Yeah. Y'all not following the court's rules and regulation. Y'all gotta file taxes, y'all gotta open an account, y'all gotta do this, y'all gotta do that. They wasn't doing nothing. So the court gotta step in and do what's
Yes.
better for the estate of DMX.
It's always about the estate because not only that, there are 14. There's a total based on this document. There's 14 children who also are equally able to benefit from their father's legacy. So you have to do it on behalf of the estate because it's not just the original family that gets to eat off that estate. It's meant for all the children. And thankfully, your father, even though he left it in a mess, he has something for you guys to carry on for generations and generations if you do it right. But you need to make sure you know and put yourself around people and get the right people on your camp so that you can watch them too and learn how this works. This would be a perfect time for them because DMX is well known. But in the 2 years, you're also responsible for growing that legacy.
Yeah.
You got to be responsible to say if people want to do projects or use his music, you have to be in position to say, okay, is this aligning with my dad's legacy? Would this help us benefit ourselves? You have to be skilled in that. And if you're not, you need to hire the proper people, but also be looking over their shoulders and watching so you can learn.
Yeah.
You were in a great position. Now, I don't know, maybe the daughter agreed for the fiance to be a part of it. And also, she has an interest in this too because she has a son, Exodus, that's also supposed to benefit from this legacy. And I too wanted to jump up and say, wow, why would they do that to him? But I've learned over the years, go do my research. Let me find out because I'm in my mind, I'm saying, why are they not overseeing their father estate? What happened? Why would the judge not give that to them? And then I said, let me go dig deeper before I jump on this lady and start going in on her. And that's when I started digging deep and realized that they may not understand their responsibility. I know their loyalties to their mom. And then for their mom to get online and start laughing, saying how they called out them devils, mama,
Yeah.
you may have helped your son push themselves right out of a position of administration.
The mother should have stayed neutral. And at that
She
point, she should have got her own lawyers, got her stuff in line, and sued the estate.
Well, she did. And what they're also saying is that this is a conflict of interest, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Based on this document, this filing, they're saying that her children gave her information
Yeah.
about the estate that probably helped her with her suing. They're saying that you were not supposed to disclose what was going on financially with your dad's estate with your mom. So apparently they found out there was some findings that they shared information with their mom, who later probably used that in her lawsuit where they were able to discover. Now that's a no-no, because all of that should be privy information to only the administrators. So that's another violation.
Right. Right.
And mama, your sons, they're going to ride and die for you as they should, but you also let them get in position first.
Right.
And honey, you knew how he was moving. You could have just stayed married to the man and just y'all live separate lives, and then you wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah. She may can get cash from him, but maybe she was trying to her best interest too, because who knows who he owes, what's out there. Somebody else could have come to her too. You never know.
But the bottom line is this: it's saying that for 2 years, his three oldest sons, they did not do anything that will protect him. You definitely need to pay the taxes. You got to get someone that's an estate manager, someone that understands this business. You need to have somebody and also learn it as well. Just don't turn it over to their hands, but you probably would. I'm thinking, I've known that some people have got paid to be administrators and they could live off of that. And that could have been their full-time responsibility, jumping in there, learning it, watching over the shoulders of the people that you brought in on this situation, part of your team, to help you grow your father's estate. And you also learn it at the same time. But when I saw mama jump on there and say how her sons called out that devil, honey, I think that did more harm than good.
Yeah.
And it probably just justified and gave confirmation that, Desiree and Sasha needed, showing that you was deeply involved. Even
Yeah.
though you were not the wife, you kind of probably helped bring your son to this situation where they're no longer co-administrators.
Yep.
And whatever they said that you were involved in, now you probably proved that they were right when you could have just stayed silent and just chill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I read somewhere that they're saying that these young men, the three kids, Tacoma, Xavier, and Sean, I read somewhere that they're saying that they are permanently no longer eligible to even be administrators of this estate. That's sad.
Because it seems like they had their hand in the cookie jar.
I mean, y'all got to educate yourselves before y'all jump into this, because when they come to legalities,
Yeah.
these people, these legal eagles, they don't care nothing about you spent all them years with him and how he did you and how you was loyal. They don't care. It's about, are you going to follow the law? Are you going to do the right things? Because it's 14 children that are supposed to be benefiting from their father's legacy. It's not just the four you and DMX had. It's 14. And when you don't act in that manner, rightfully so, they should remove you. I hate to speak on it, but it's another situation going on now with another entertainer that the court should have been removed this person. But hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna
Yeah.
leave that alone for now
Mm.
because I'm gonna get a little bit upset about it.
Yeah, I mean, the court appointed them. They know they wasn't capable of doing it. They seemed like they didn't want to find anybody to assist them. So yeah, yank they behind off and put somebody else in charge. If those whoever is in charge now is not up to speed, they're gonna yank them off too and put somebody else in charge. Probably somebody that is not related to the family. They have to settle this thing. You can't be sitting here lingering on this estate for years after years. They need to get this thing in order. He got to pay his taxes. He got to be able to pay the
Yeah,
people that he owe. You got to move forward.
You got to
They were
track.
not capable at all. I can tell you right now, they wasn't capable.
Well, if this is true, what it's saying in this document, they had 2 years to show that they were, able to handle this. And if you didn't even get a legal team together,
Yeah,
that just shows negligence on their part. I mean, they don't care whether you did it intentionally or not.
they
They're not gonna go for this.
they gave them a chance, and you know what? Out here looking like, okay, we didn't even have a clue that they had appointed the three of them first. We just go straight to the fiance saying why is she in charge, but no one knows the back history that you just brought up. And so I didn't know that. I'm looking at the doggone fiance
Yeah.
too. Like, how did they appoint her and overlook all everybody else, but not knowing they gave them a chance?
When you look at that video, okay, looking at that, I'm saying, how do they shun them? I always want to dig and find out, how did it get there? You know what I'm saying? I understand that there's issues, and Xavier, if you see the interviews, there's a lot of pain there. There's a lot of pain. But once again, when people are dealing with the estate of someone, they only care about who's in charge of it. That's why Desiree got up there and stated clearly that she and Sasha were the administrators, but nobody knew the back history. So naturally, we're going to be pissed like, how dare this fiance? What do you mean? He got children. That's how I felt like, how dare you? You just took that from underneath them. But then now digging,
Mm,
and y'all could go dig for yourself some more.
yeah,
I had to take a deep breath and say, wow, so this is some serious situation. Okay. So, everybody else, educate yourself. These musicians, sometimes athletes, whoever, sometimes these famous people don't put their affairs in order, and then you're left with this situation. Please, y'all learn from this. This is a teaching moment. This is a learning moment for everybody. I wish them well, and I pray that Desiree and Sasha do right by the estate and do right by all the siblings. If you're not an administrator, you do not have a say in how
yeah,
and what they do as far as business dealings. They're cut out of that.
yeah,
All they're probably going to do is probably get maybe an update of what the money's earned after expenses, and then what their portions will be.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate, but I honestly, Tashera, oh God, that little few minutes or few seconds of you jumping on the internet and laughing at what your son did, Mama, you just confirmed everything Desiree and them said in that documentation, and you just helped ushered your son right on out of their right position.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. She should have stayed out of it and did her own lawsuit by herself, not even listening or getting information from them about the estate.
But she did do her own lawsuit. She did do it.
Yeah,
But
but she did her own lawsuit, but she pulled in information that they provided her. You can't do that.
allegedly based on this, based on this. And and it's kind of a conflict, because if you've never been in the defense of her sons, if you've never been in a position like that, that's your mama. Your mama held you down.
Yeah,
So it was owed to her. So maybe they didn't know that they should have not did that. Whatever they signed with her to try to give her the rights. But if you had a team together, they could advise you and tell you, even if you were thinking about doing that, and tell you that, hey, we have to wait. We have to do X, Y, and Z.
right.
But you had 2 years to do that.
Yeah.
2 years.
Wow.
And I'm sorry, but I pray that Desiree and Sasha do right by all the children and grow that business as they should and educate themselves. And also in this filing, it said that Tashera children, they went through lawyers. They kept swapping out lawyers, and it clearly stated that Sasha and Desiree has had their same attorney since the inception of this, but the Simmons boys, they were in and out swapping, doing different attorneys. They even listed the various attorneys they had,
Oh my.
and that kind of doesn't doesn't quite symbolize stability.
That's true. That's true. Wow.
So in all, I pray. I know DMX didn't live in peace while he's here, but I hope he is resting in peace. And I pray that the family make amends. Life is short,
Yeah,
and maybe mama just stay out of it, Tashera, and let your children, regardless of how they feel about it, they all are family, and hopefully make amends and get together and do what DMX needed when he was here and protect him, in his death and his legacy, and just make sure everybody get their fair share.
I agree. I agree. Well, girl, I'm gonna have to holler at you later because I gotta go.
All right, I'll holler. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye bye.
Okay, bye.